Hello and welcome to Option Strategist new video. Today's topic is Iron Condor simulation, and here in this video we'll generally talk about the different kind of Iron Condors, when to create an Iron Condors, understanding Greeks of Iron Condors, and adjusting and simulating Iron Condors to an extent. Well, Option Strategy Simulation with adjustments is a key requirement for any trader who wants to trade in options, right? I mean, understand payoff, understand the Greeks, make adjustments on the trades are key essentials for any trader, who wants to develop some ideas in the option market, trade successfully, and make some money. As of now, we'll talk about how the simulation software works, and it's one of its kind in its nature. So we'll start with the option strategist first Iron Condor simulation work topic, right? So first, when we talk about Iron Condor, there are generally four ideas I will briefly touch upon. What is an Iron Condor, creating an Iron Condor, understanding an Iron Condor, and the Greeks of the Iron Condor, and adjusting and simulating, right? Let's go move on to the next topic. So what is an Iron Condor? I mean, this is just a brief idea of Iron Condor. It's an ocean itself, and there are so many things to understand in our Iron Condor. Basically, it's a trade neutral strategies that you benefit from whether there is a mildly bearish move or a bullish move in the markets. So even there is a limited movement of the underlying, you still make some money in the market, right? So trader makes a profit in sideways market. It's not suitable when the VIX is high volatility, and when there are chances of high gap up or gap downs, which can turn Iron Condor into turn your strategy into a loss. So, but one of the benefit of Iron Condor is that it's a risk defined strategy. What does it mean? That when you are trying to set up an Iron Condor, your maximum profit to your maximum loss is already defined, so you're not going to lose more than a certain amount which you already have. So in future videos we'll talk details about the risk to reward ratio, the probabilities of Iron Condor, how to calculate the probabilities of profit, at what strikes you should choose Iron Condor, how to select the prices, how to break the trades, and things like that. For now, we'll start with basic understanding of the Iron Condor, right? So there are generally three ways to create an Iron Condor. All experienced traders must know it. So for this example, we just selected one of this, which is a put credit spread or bull put spread plus a call credit spread or a bear call spread. Just for the newbies, we just want to highlight this point that this call credit spread or bear call spread, we sell a lower strike call and then we buy a higher strike call as a premium, right? So if you just move the buy strikes from both the ends, it becomes a strangle, right? So this buys at the higher strikes is what makes it a risk defined strategy, that you're not going to lose more than a certain amount in the condor, right? So so basically we set up that there is a call strike where we sell a higher OTM call strike. It's a typical setup, and then even we buy a further OTM call at the same expiry. So all underlyings are of the same underlyings and same expiry for this kind of. And one more important stuff is that this kind of strategy or payoff is only will be realized at the expiry, not before the expiry. So we're talking about the expiry payoff here, right? So there is a distance between the buy strike and sell strike, which could be 100, 200, 300 points apart from each other. There are ways to understand and there are ways to adjust how to set up the strikes, which strikes you should choose. That's an entirely different topic which we'll cover in a later video or probably in our workshops, where we'll talk details about the setting of the individual spreads. Here the idea is that you can break the Iron Condor in two different parts, right? One is your call credit spread and one is your put credit spread. The credit spread means that you receive a credit because you get a higher premium for selling near a strike, and you on both ways, right? You're selling the nearest strikes, that is why your net you get a net premium out of the trade. Okay, so if we just put this together, so this is how an Iron Condor looks like. So once I put this together, join the path together, this is what it is. So this sell strike and this put sell strike are the break-even points that we talk about. So as long as break-even points will be a little further because we already receive a premium from both the sides. So once we have this break-even points, we are safe. So as long as the underlying stays between this two break-even points, we stand to make some profit out of this trade. So it's again a risk defined strategy. It's a very good strategy because market mostly stays in general in a sideways move, right? So this is how you typically look at an iron condor, uh, with the strike selected on the calls and buys, on the calls and the puts, and then you just join these two different bull put spread and trade spread to make an iron condor, right? So we'll talk about details of constructing the iron condors probably in a future video, right? Then we come to the understanding the Greeks of the Iron Condor. We'll talk about probably the delta, theta, vega, and gamma of such trade neutral strategies in details in some future videos. Here we'll talk about briefly about delta. Delta just makes that how much your how much your premiums are going to increase or decrease with movement of the underlying. So let's say if underlying moves by 100 points, how much the premium of the of the underlying or the strikes is going to change if my underlying changes, right? That is given by delta. So it's just change in premium with respect to change in the underlying price, given all the rest of the three Greeks are same. Theta is the time decay that on an average, if nothing happens in the market, how much the premium loses. So theta is always a negative quantity because it's a time decay that we are considering here. Vega is a tricky stuff. Vega can be positive, can be negative, depends. But when you are buying an option, Vega is always positive. When we are selling an option, Vega is always negative for us. For a seller, we want the Vega to actually drop, and for a buyer perspective, we want the Vega to increase. As we understand that we are net seller in an iron condor, and we receive the premiums from selling the nearest strikes, so Vega will be always negative for an iron condor. The gamma is the how much the delta changes with the underlying price. We'll not put much focus in gamma right now, but we need to keep a tab on gamma because gamma can increase rapidly, and for which delta may change very rapidly as well. Yeah. Let's now go to any trade management system. When you set up a trade, there could be times when you need to adjust the trade, and we need to understand that how this thing can happen in a offline way or in a paper trades. So we are introducing the India's first Nifty historic option simulator here. So and this is what we are offering from the option strategist. This option strategy simulator simulation with adjustments. The payoff chart is again the same thing, nearest expiry, and you can learn to take trades, understand Greeks, and make adjustments in paper trades without actual money, which I think is very key for novices as well as the experienced traders to understand and test different kind of adjustments in their future scenarios. So all this data taken from the actual Nifty data, and we are also considering the actual VIX data to understand and create this simulation. Now let's go to the interesting part of it and look at the simulation software itself. So if you see, I have the software open for me, right? So it's the same thing. So I'll just briefly talk about that. Probably the details of the software will be given demo once if you're interested to buy this product from us, or you can try the trial version. So the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to set a date for entry of or initialize the data. For the time being, for the interest of time, we're going to choose that is 10th May 2019. It's an arbitrary date which you can change, and we say okay, right? So once you say okay, you get the strategy date as 10th May 2019. The day of week is Friday, and the Nifty close is 11,279, and the India VIX at that point of time was 26, right? Now, if you want to just look at that, what is the Nifty at that particular point of time, we'll hit show Nifty, and it will pop up the dialog, right? So here we see that how Nifty was behaving. So we see already there is a downtrend. It has already broken the a simple moving average of 50 days, but still above the 100 and 200 days. So we can see it's a moderately on a downtrend, but still we'll go ahead and do a Iron Condor. But probably from the technical perspective, it is not the right time to construct an Iron Condor, because generally we try to construct iron condors when the market is on the sideways trend like this, right? The next thing is that, as we are mentioning, we'll set up the legs of the iron condor. We'll say, as the Nifty is 11,279, we'll set something else as 12,000 as our call sell, right? And we'll sell this. We'll probably set something nearer. We'll set 11,500 probably as our sell strike. We'll set quantity 1, and we'll sell the monthly options we'll set as 30th May 2019 as this thing, right? And we'll set OK. Now if you want to check the show the want to see the Greeks of the trade, we'll calculate this.